Vivian Guzman. Life hasn't always been easy. I have felt alone, displaced, like an outsider. The world needs a place of belonging, which is why I created Dishin'it.
Cheers! Cheers!
On Dishin'it, I cook foods from around the world. My guests share their stories, and we inspire the world.
The reason I save marriages past, present and future is because I want it to be that lovely, cute 80-year-old couple that you see still holding hands is the norm. Welcome to Dishin'it.
Hi, I'm Vivian Guzman. Today on Dishin'it we have game changer Rose Santiago, once a computer programmer, now an entrepreneur, coach, and author of Live Your True Essence. She's overcome bullying, a cult, divorce, and the challenges of being blind. Today, she's gonna teach us how to make her favorite family recipe, the Puerto Rican dish, Verdura con Baccalà. Welcome to Dishin'it. Oh my God, you look so cute! You little hot tamale. Let me see this. Look at this. And look at this one. This is my cheeky. I'm so excited that I finally have Rose Santiago in my kitchen, and we are going to make her favorite family recipe from Puerto Rico, which is called Verdura con Baccalà. So we're boiling everything, and then we're gonna season it with a little bit of annatto oil, which I have in here, and we're gonna dress it up with onions and some parsley. Here's the bacalà, or bacalao, and we're gonna boil that right here. The water's been hot and waiting for us. For your family recipe, you like putting guineo, right?
Yeah.
These are cooking bananas, and you like ñame?
Yes.
Which is this big root vegetable, right?
Yes,
Am I right?
this
Look
big
at
old
this.
thing.
Look at this
That's
big
a
old
big old
thing. So we're gonna put some of that, and I've seen other takes that your recipe can be enriched with other root vegetables like yuca.
Yeah.
There's also jaudia, and then we have real plátanos. I'm gonna put a nice ñame in front of you and some banana. Are you ready to cut this for me?
Well, I can cut the onions.
I know, it's not that easy. It's not even that easy for me, but I'm gonna give her the onion and I will do the root vegetables. So here we go.
Look at these cute onions.
Look at you, Rose. Look at you go. There we go. We're in a rhythm here, people.
Yes, we are. These onions are gonna make me cry soon.
There's no escaping it. They say like, oh, put it in the fridge, do this, do that.
There
I've
goes
tried
my
all the
makeup.
methods, exactly. I have not had success in that. Why are we making this dish, Rose?
This dish is one of my favorite dishes that my mom makes. I would smell it from upstairs, and my mom's making this. I'm like, oh, she's making guineo and bacalao today.
You're from Puerto Rico, but were you born there? Did you come here?
I was born in Puerto Rico, and I came here when I was about 1.5 years old.
What were the dynamics growing up? So you're rambunctious. Who's Rose in the whole picture of the whole family?
It's so funny because the rest of my brothers and sisters, they all can see. And the most adventurous one in there is me. Okay? Like, who tried all kinds of stuff, rock climbing, mountain climbing, hiking, the whole nine, canoeing, boating. I was the one always involved in stuff. I just love doing stuff.
You're also a coach and you're an author. So, and you have obviously your essential oils, which we're gonna play with later. But tell me a little bit more about your true essence and your book and what you do for a living.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, True Essence was born because it's the journey of my life, finding myself. You know, remember we talked about the religion and all these other dynamics, and my parents were also in a religion. So I was always surrounded by the religious atmosphere, but I had to find me. Who is Rose Santiago? I wanted to know who I was. And so guess what? True Essence became that whole foundation, even without me knowing it.
Some of the tools that you use for yourself that got you through some dark times. So you use the art of reframing, which is something that you're really known for.
All my
Tell
life.
me all about reframing.
Sometimes our thoughts take us in the wrong directions. So in order for me to learn how to be better with myself, how to cope with difficult situations, challenges that came into my life, I would reframe the negative thoughts, the negative thinking, or the negative patterns in my life and flip the switch on it. Flip that damn switch, okay?
Flip that switch.
Turn it around, right?
So now we have done our own therapy and changed all the negative, fearful thoughts into positive thinking. And you also have something else that's a great technique that I think is like the bomb in your book. And it's zone action because I used it and it works. So tell me, how does it work?
Zone action is just doing it. You have to get up and do it. If you're gonna sit around thinking too much, you're not doing anything. You gotta get up and go and move.
So in that vein, when I was doing the zone action exercise that she puts in the book, basically what you do is that you write a problem and then you write like different solutions, right? Right then and there. One of the things that you could do is when you're planning your exit, for example, right, from a relationship, you could take a piece of paper down. It helps you ground yourself and makes you feel more empowered when you sit down and write down, this is my problem and these are the ways that I'm thinking of solving them. 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Exactly. And that's why I put the exercise there. So you can ask the question and be honest with yourself.
Okay, Rose, you are ready to taste this food. Go in there, baby.
Sure
I'm still plating
am.
mine.
Oh my goodness gracious. Let's
Can't
see
wait.
how we eat this stuff up.
And how is it?
Delish, as I expected it to be. The guineo.
Guineo.
So good.
I had the nyame. It has a little sweetness to it.
Oh my god.
I'm having the cooked banana. It's kind of sweet and soft. This dish is very surprising. It's a very simple, humble, peasant dish. The flavors come up with the annatto. I feel like this is almost like grounding, like good for the root chakras as it is in like Ayurvedic medicine. Is there something to that? Is that what you...
I'm attracted to it because it's so healthy and so good, and I just love it.
So I'm thinking, you use a lot of quotes in your book. I've printed out a lot of them right here. And you will be able to continue eating your food if you answer who actually made this quote.
Alrighty then.
Are you ready, baby?
Trivia time.
Trivia time it is. When you know in your bones that your body is a sacred gift, you move in the world with an effortless grace. Gratitude and humility rise up spontaneously.
Debbie Ford?
Yes! When we're able to look beyond appearances and to behold that which we truly are, we recognize that our essence is interwoven with the divine and that we exist as one in its expressions.
That's Alexandra Copernicus.
Yeah, Katehakis. Easy for us to say. You have control of only 3 things in your life: the thoughts you think, the images you visualize, and the actions you take.
That is Jack Canfield.
Ding, 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 that is correct. Last quote, I invite you to drink in the divine nectar of aromatic love and let it penetrate you in the deepest, most profound ways. Trust that oils are working side by side to heal, regenerate, and teach you. The more you use them, the more they'll reveal their secrets to you.
Lana Millman.
That was so fast. Mic drop. I have an idea. Why don't we finish eating and then we're going to go into the other room and we're going to unpack your beautiful story.
Sounds like a plan.
So you're the middle child of 7. What were the dynamics growing up? It's a big family.
So I was kind of spoiled, but at the same time, I was pushed away. My mom, for example, in the kitchen, if she was cooking, go play, go do something. I don't want you to help me right now. She was afraid of me getting burned or kitchen me cutting myself. But eventually, at least I would, make spaghettis and meatballs or something.
Meatballs is a very intensive thing to do.
Well, no, I mean the can.
Chef Boyardee?
There you go. She's like, you can make that, sweetie.
Let's rewind. When you were younger, you were doing a lot of other activities. So like cooking came later in the game.
Yes.
But when you were younger, you were involved in a lot of activities. Tell me a little bit about that.
I really loved connecting with people. It was just my spirit.
So in addition to all of these activities, you're also a poet.
Well, I started writing poetry early in elementary school. I wasn't aware of my blindness in such a way until I started getting bullied, where I became self-conscious about everything, how I ate, how I walked. I even didn't even want to use my cane because I was so embarrassed by it. Coming home from school, they would just be behind me threatening to kick my ass and, saying, that I bump into walls and I'm stupid and all these horrible, just never in my life did I ever experience such pain. And this is hard to talk about, but it got to such a point where I just didn't want to exist. Unbeknownst to my family, my mom, I went into the bathroom and I found pills in the medicine cabinet and I just put a bunch of pills in my hands and I said, I don't want to exist in this world if I'm gonna be existing not accepted as who I am. And I waited to just die. I didn't die. I fell asleep. My mother at some point must have told me to get up and go to bed and I just did it. I didn't even remember. I just went to my room and woke up in the morning. I'm like, oh my God, I'm here. I'm like, what a stupid thing you just did, Rose. Like, how could you even think about doing that when you have so much inside of you that's yet to be revealed? You need to do something about this. Like, I'm gonna write a poem. I'm gonna write a poem about what it is to be blind. I took it to school. I told my teacher, Mrs. Perkins, a beautiful, wonderful human being. She was so impressed by the poem that she's like, can I give it to the principal? The principal said, would you be open to reading this in your graduation? Because it was going to be my 8th grade graduation. After I read the poem in front of everyone, all those students that bullied me, that hurt me, that said all those things to me, one by one came up to me and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Winning a Pulitzer Prize wasn't more important than that moment. Because I felt like they understood what I was saying in the poem.
Oh my God, Rose, you got me crying. I just can't believe that anybody would be bullying cute little Rose like you, age 14, cute little baby, little petunia.
Exactly, little me.
You've discovered your voice and you've graduated high school. What happens now?
Start dating? Imagine dating as a blind person. That's kind of interesting.
How does that work?
Like I said before, lots of adventures. I love doing a lot of things. So of course you're gonna meet people along the way. I fell in love kind of young. I was like maybe 18 years old when I met my future husband. It was a summer program for visually impaired people. He was a DJ at the time, imagine.
How many years were you kind of dating and going back and forth?
Too long. No, I'm just kidding. We were dating for like, oh my goodness, like 6 years before I got married. And then the next year I had my son. Oh, do I have to say the date?
No, you don't have to say the date.
We had this really great relationship in terms of music side, the fun, the going out,
The fireworks, the
fireworks,
romance,
the passion, the dancing, all this good stuff. It was awesome until it wasn't.
So then what happened?
We got into this, religion called Jehovah's Witnesses. He was a Jehovah's Witness before I was a Jehovah's Witness. And one of the things that he was doing was a lot of control. And it was making him turn into a person that was just like another bully. and I was never enough. And no matter what I did, it was never good enough. What really got me there was when my son climbed on my lap and he was crying and he's hugging me. He's like, I hate Daddy. I hate him. He shouldn't be here. And I was like, trying to calm him down, but I wasn't calm. It was like an aha moment for me. And that second that my son was in my lap, crying in my arms, saying that.
How old was he?
He was about 9.
In your book, I read that JW got you marked as an adulteress. Like, what happened? Tell me about this.
Because divorcing with Jehovah's Witness is not allowed, only if you commit adultery.
Anyone who's watching, when you leave a cult like Jehovah's Witness, you're left with nothing. You are excommunicated. You are left without family, friends. You can't, it's like cutting off all ties as if you didn't exist.
Yeah.
So for you, what was that experience like?
The whole brainwashing operation, it's like you feel like you've died. And so I knew that I was somebody, that I was more than what that cult taught me. I picked up the pieces. I said, I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to have my own business. And I'm going to raise my son, and I'm going to teach him the best values that I can, because I always did, even before he went to school. I taught him colors that a blind person, people say, oh, how can you do that? No, I taught him colors. I know his alphabet through Braille cards.
You're done. You spent 3 years. You bought your own home. So now tell me about your whole entrepreneurial experience from this point on.
I went to get my seeing eye dog. I started saving money. Said I'm gonna open a business. I don't have all the entrepreneurial experience, but I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna take that zone action and get right in there and just do it. It was a housekeeping service that I started in the Hudson County area, and nobody, and I mean no housekeeping company, was using essential oils. And the reason I used them was because I was getting major headaches when I would clean, those cleaning products, how strong they are. And I discovered this book on essential oils. I started reading it. I was like, oh my goodness, I could have a business instead of all these housekeeping companies that are using all this bleach and all this crappy stuff. I can use something better, essential oils.
I love that when you did this was in the early 2000s, which was before and so ahead of the game from products that we now take for granted that are all alternative, because now we're all more into health and healing. But you were a pioneer.
And I was really happy because even people would call me from California, different places. How did you start a housekeeping service that was natural? Nobody's doing that. So I really feel really proud about that I really pioneered and introduced the whole natural housekeeping to New Jersey and beyond.
Rose, I really love that you've just keep moving on from one thing to another and just growing your empire as you go. So not only did you sell your natural products, but then you got into the beauty business, which eventually became your true essence, as we have here in this book in front of you. And here you have chapters and chapters on the essential oils that you were talking about. And I think that we should experience it and have a spa moment with all your lipstick.
Sounds lovely.
Shall we?
Shall we?
It feels so fabulous.
Oh, that was great, Vivian.
So tell me about what's in your oil diffuser.
Oh, some beautiful oils are in here. Grapefruit, lemongrass, orange, and bergamot. How does that sound?
Sounds delicious.
The lemongrass, it's like having that cup of coffee in the morning, Like if you're making fish, things like that, you diffuse this, it's great because it kind of like kills those smells.
I think when I think of essential oils, like it feels good and it's wonderful and I like the way the room smells, and I'm thinking of all the beauty aspects and the yummy feelings. But in reality, they have an ancient practices in history. A few chapters in your book on essential oils, you even give us the formula that Cleopatra used.
Yes.
Tell me about the Cleopatra milk bath.
Oh, Cleopatra used different beautiful oils like frankincense. She put lavender all over her body to entice Mark Antony. Did you know that?
I did not.
She did. I think she was the first inventor of the clay mask. Because she would use those kind of skincare products on herself that weren't even bottled yet. In my products, everything from ingredients, essential oils are organic.
Why is that important?
Because you want the real deal, right?
Yeah.
You don't want these products that are filled with chemicals that actually don't work well. For one thing, in your body, when you use them over a long period of time, they can cause cancer, they can cause imbalances in your body, they can cause rashes, dry skin, all kinds of problems. But when you're using real ingredients from plants, this is gonna help your body to moisturize your skin naturally. And so essential oils have so many different purposes. I mean, they can help from anything from like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart problems. There's so many healing properties in essential oils.
Wow.
To heal. It's so beautiful. It's just
lovely.
amazing.
You really share a lot of golden nuggets in here for people to understand the benefits of all of your essential oils. And in one of the statistics that I just found interesting, it says that according to 2011, there was a clinical trial on 44 individuals monitoring high doses of frankincense resin as a remedy for cerebral edema. And in 60% of the patients, the swelling was reduced by 75% or more.
Yeah, frankincense can penetrate the brain-blood barrier. The components in frankincense are so tiny that they can do that. And that's why that's like the #1 oil to help with brain cancer, like tumors in the brain. Isn't that interesting?
That's fascinating,
Right?
and you have that, right?
But I use frankincense in my products. This one is the muscle relief. And what frankincense does here is it helps with pain. So if you have muscle pain, joint pain, if you have sore muscles, this will be your best friend. Being in a space where I was depressed, I had, a lot of stress in my life, and the essential oils came on that journey with me. It's the reason I started my first company. It's the reason I continued with True Essence Beauty. Inspiring people, my whole mission has been inspiring people inside and out. And essential oils has been a big part of that journey.
You're truly an inspiration to me, Rose. From everything that you've been able to accomplish, any person in their lives would have probably just fallen off at some point and given up, but you just kept reframing, you kept redesigning your life, you kept pushing forward. You became a computer programmer, then you went into the natural housekeeping business, then you sold that company, and then you went into your beauty line, created True Essence, and through that, you've created a whole lineup to sell. You're an author, you're a speaker, you're a motivational speaker. Just one of those things would have done. You put us all to shame. In the best way possible. And I am so grateful that you took a chance in the pursuit of your dreams, that you pursue love, diversity, and inclusion is part of your soul. And that's what Dishin'it is all about.
Oh, thank you so much, Vivian, for those beautiful words. And I can tell you one of my favorite quotes, which is, "We are infinite beings having a human experience." So if you have infinity in front of you, what can't you do?
I love you, Rose.